awesome. It is great to be amongst some of the great coaches that we have here in Missouri. And I look at this front table here, and they've told us, I think Brad even mentioned at the very beginning, all the wins they've had. I think it's 5,561 or something like that. Well, I just want you to know, if you add all those together and you take me away from the equation, it's still 5,561. Although I did do some coaching back in college. I do want you to know that. For 4 years, I coached women's intramural basketball. And we won 2 university championships. How about that? Isn't that impressive? I thought, yeah, thank you very much. But I have really enjoyed the game of basketball so much. I've had so many great experiences. Not a great coach, but I will say this, the 2 coaches that I have covered here, Steve Goodwin and Jill Nagel, combined, the 3 of us have 6 state championships. I want to thank them for giving us some great basketball to cover. It's been really good in mid-Missouri. My playing career wasn't all that great either, quite honestly. I thought I was a really good player back there. I went to Naperville Central High School, which is a suburb of Chicago. Played guard. I was small, but I was slow. And I didn't get to play that much. I never started a varsity game. I came off the bench, but not often. I came off for timeouts and between quarters. That's about it. But I loved the game of basketball. My coaches back there would tell you today, if they knew, they would be stunned to think that Rod Smith is in any kind of basketball Hall of Fame. But I am so proud to be in this one. This means so much to me because basketball means so much to me. I have gotten to cover great basketball for 34 years in mid-Missouri. I'm near the University of Missouri. So for all of you who have watched Norm Stewart, that was my first job in 1985. I came and I got to cover Mizzou basketball. What a dream that was and I've got stories about Norm Stewart I don't have time to tell. But we had a really neat time watching some great basketball. Guys like Anthony Peeler and Doug Smith. I got to cover Derek Chivas and Kareem Rush. Those are some of the early names. And on through these years now, I got to cover a gal, Sophie Cunningham, recently at the University of Missouri, and Rockbridge before that. But we've seen some great basketball players at Mizzou. That has been fun. But really where our bread and butter is the high school game. We have spent my professional life, and I have some great people that work with me. This award isn't just for me. This is for KRCG TV in mid-Missouri, and it's for my guys Tony Mullen and other that have helped me over the years to give out a really good high school product. We take pride in covering high school basketball. We go to the small schools, the big schools, and everything in between. And it's not just the highlights of the games. It's the cheer squad, it's the bands, it's the coaches, it's the families, it's the student sections, it's the communities that are brought together by the great game of basketball. And we put that in a short video clip on TV. I will say this, I am so blessed. And at the end, I want to thank KRCG for giving us extra time in sports, night after night. You know, in my business, there have been a lot of cutbacks. Cutbacks for sports, you only get maybe 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes in a sports cast on the 10 o'clock newscast. Well, I'm lucky, I get about 5 or 6 minutes, and we fill it up with local sports. You know, ESPN does its job with the big stories. We do our schools, our kids, and our communities. That's what we air on our air, and that's why we get the extra time. I got fired in 2008. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know why? Because the crazy thing about it was they brought me back. Long story short, all those small schools we had gone to, all the big schools we had gone to, those people came to my defense and they wanted me back. They didn't want to cut sports. The reason I got fired was because of the economic downturn. They had to cut jobs because of finances. It was a tough time, economics in the journalism business and TV business. So, crazy as it seems, it never happens in my business, but it did. They brought me back on air. That was 10 years ago. One thing I've never really told anybody, I'm going to tell you because you'll appreciate this. In my contract, when I came back, they asked me to come back. They wanted me to come back. I put in, you have to let me do a basketball Tuesday night show and a basketball Friday night show, giving me extra time to highlight basketball in mid-Missouri, because it's a great game, and we played well in mid-Missouri. And I got that. 10, almost 11 years later, we're still doing basketball Tuesday night, basketball Friday night. It's about a 10-minute segment within that 35-minute newscast every Tuesday and Friday night during the winter. I don't know, I never even checked. I don't think anybody else does that in the country. They do have some things on weekends once in a while, but we do it and I'm blessed. I'm thankful to have that extra time. And I hope we can keep getting it as long as I, keep working. I don't get to retire like some of these young basketball coaches. I got to keep working a little bit longer. But I hope that we can keep doing it, because it gives us so many opportunities to showcase our local talent and our local basketball teams. I have been so blessed to be able to bring sports news into the homes of mid-Missouri for 34 years now, almost 34. I want to thank the schools and our athletic directors and the basketball coaches, the towns, the teams. We have about 60 high schools in our mid-Missouri area, a radius of about 60 miles we go out and cover. We don't get to them all, but we get a lot of highlights on those basketball Tuesday and Friday night shows. We get about 12, 14, 16 games highlighted. I got good people to go out and get these games. I still carry a camera. I still get the video. That gets me into games free if I got that big camera. It works out pretty well. I think when I retire, I'm just going to hang around that camera. I'm going to keep carrying that camera around. But we have been blessed to be able to do that for these last years. I want to thank those communities. I want to thank KRCG again, because they allow us to have that time to highlight basketball and other sports too. Football is wonderful, but basketball, out of those 60 schools, everybody plays basketball. Girls, boys, football, some of the schools play. I want to thank my lovely wife, Lana, who we've been dating for 33 years now. We've been married for 31 of those. Thank you, Lana, for being my support, for being there for me, because it's not easy. As in a coach's wife, coach's husband, it's not easy. Same thing with a broadcaster, long hours, late nights, road trips, but you have been understanding and you've been my support. I love you, dear. I thank my 3 daughters, Brittany, Brooke, and Paige, who couldn't be here today. They got great excuses. One is a tennis coach down in Florida. One is playing college tennis today. The other is finishing up her dissertation. She's getting her doctorate. They're all 3 a lot smarter than their dad. And they're a lot prettier too. They take after their mom. But I love my daughters, and they have played basketball. They've played all the sports. And I want to thank my parents from Arizona. They have been my inspiration. My dad spent hours and hours shooting basketballs with me in the front driveway, throwing the ball in the backyard, built a hockey rink in our backyard in Chicago. We played all the sports together. My dad taught me everything I know about sports. But I want to thank my mom for being my #1 fan ever. She was always behind me. She still watches me from a long ways away. She supports all that we do. And last but not least, I'm all about family and I'm all about faith. I have a Lord Jesus Christ who is #1 in my life. And if it wasn't for him, following him and serving him, there's no way that I'd have the opportunities or the blessings that I've had. And this today is one of those great blessings. So I thank you, God, and I thank you, and I thank you to the Hall of Fame for making this possible. God bless you.